Oh, would you look at that? It's 2024 already. So by the time this video goes up, it'll probably end up predating the new stuff that I recorded at the start of the new year, meaning I may need to explain the occasional cough or sniffle, because basically I got sick in the bad way. I'm okay now, but like I got sick. Both Diane and I got sick towards the end of December 2023, and it just took some time to recover, and that time spent recovering has slowed down the video stuff, and I didn't get to make this as soon as I'd wanted to. Similarly, as of this recording, I still need to actually do my top 10 video for 2023, which is in the works. I have my list, I just need to actually make it, but I haven't yet. I will soon. I'm sorry for the delay, but you know, I was sick. And I'm still kind of getting over things even a couple weeks later. But point is, we're doing a collection tour thing again, because it's 2024 and I feel like it's fun to kind of do a little time capsule update every year for where we're at. So I'm going to walk through the collection. Things have changed a bit since obviously since the last one I did, because it was a year ago. But yeah, there are some things that are no longer on the shelves that I still technically own, but they're like up for sale on eBay, so you know, they're not on the shelves anymore. And then there are some other things that I don't have on the shelves currently, simply because I haven't made videos on them yet. So I've got a very small but select handful of figures that are not represented currently, but there will be videos eventually. Actually, let me just swing this down real quick and show you what I'm talking about. We've got, yes, I have a lot of gum, long story. We have Legacy Animated Optimus Prime, who I did a little customizing on. We'll talk more about that, you know, eventually. And then the, what are these? Cyber Combiners from Earthspark, because they're actually a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so those are not going to be on the shelves because of I'm doing it that way, but we're going to go over the rest of the shelves proper. So here we've got the Combiner shelf. Uses that intro already 2.5 minutes. Anyway, Combiner shelf. And yeah, it has changed a bit, but some of my favorite, most of my favorite combiners, and also Legacy Menasor. The reason Legacy Menasor is not considered what I would consider a favorite combiner is, as a combiner, I'm just kind of on him, but I actually really, really like the individual Legacy Stunticons. It's just that they take up a lot less space on a shelf this way, so yeah. But in order from left to right and front to back, all that stuff, we'll just go through it. Okay, so Unique Toys Orden, still have that team with repro labels, still absolutely love it. In the back, we've got Mastermind Creations Feral Rex, which is also fantastic and also has repro labels on it. And I really want to make a video on both of these guys someday. It's just, combiner teams take so much effort. And I always try to prioritize stuff that's like new for the year, because I want to have videos to link to for my top 10 at the end of the year. We've got my oversized Jinbao knockoff of Generation Toy. Generation Toys Gravity Builder with repro labels and a lot of really painstaking custom paint for like panel lining and detailing and stuff. So yeah, that was a very big project. No pun intended. In front of that, we've got the oversized knockoff, I believe Yes Model is the company, but the oversized knockoff of Make Toys Guardia, which I like this combiner before, but at this scale, it is even cooler. So love that thing. And then, as I mentioned, Legacy Menasor, who I'm just keeping in combine mode because it takes up less space. I had to break up the collection flow a little bit with just a random shelf of this stuff, because space is so limited now. But we've got Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Formo, I believe. I forget what the actual combination name is, but still got that guy. And this is a newer one than, or not newer, but in a slightly better condition than the one I used to have because it actually has stickers. Still wish we'd get repro label sets for this stuff. I don't know why we don't. Got my Sonokong version of DX Gaogaigar, which I actually have done some custom work on. I still need to make a video on that too. And then Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Synchro. Again, I believe that's right. Also with most of its stickers. So I've got the full combined set for the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad figures, and then Gaogaigar, because this is just an it is the all-timer. I can't ever get rid of this thing, even if it doesn't fit thematically into the collection. Got a couple of sort of Micromasters here. It's two on either side. We've got two knockoff Micromasters. Just came as free freebies the last couple of times I ordered something from the site that I won't name because I really don't like that site, and the owner is kind of a word I'm not going to say because I try not to swear on the channel. And I'm, not terribly broken up about the site going under. Call it petty if you want, but hey, I was wronged many times by that site, so whatever. But anyway, in the center there is a like a kabaya, or maybe not kabaya, but it's like some little model kit toy Micromaster thing that came with something I ordered off of eBay from a seller in Japan. They just included that in the box, and I think it came with my my Transformers Animated Black Convoy. But yeah, this is actually a fun little build, and this is actually a pretty cool little guy, aside from the that nonsense. I would have left the sticker off, but it just didn't look right without it. But hey, there we've got some Micromasters, and we will have more Micromasters. Down here, we've got the sort of follow-up combiner shelf with the either individual combiner figures as they're, in their individual figure mode, or really small combiners that can fit on the shelf. So there's New Age, is it Hephaestus, I think? The Toy Colors version of Legend Scale Devastator. Also still need to make a video on that. The Pocket Toys knockoff of Iron Factory's Bruticus, which is also pretty cool, and need to make a video on that too. Beast Wars Tripredicus. Also fun, also great. Used to own it back in the day. Fun, weird little combiner, and again, need to make a video on that. Transformission, this guy and this guy. I forget their names. I think this is Revolt, but I forget this guy's name. But it's Dragstrip and Breakdown. And these are the only guys I have left from the Transformission team, but they're really cool individual figures, so that's fine. And behind them, still have Fans Toys Road King. And I got, you can't really see if I angle it. There we go. I got the cell-shaded window stickers for him. I didn't have it in me to do the full repro label set, but I like the cell-shaded windows. And then we've got TFC's Hydrant repro labeled up. I can't explain it. I just really like Hotspot as like an individual character. I'm absolutely going to be getting MMC's Hotspot. I have no other. I got rid of. What was whatever their first aid's name was? I already forgot, but I got rid of him because I just didn't really have an interest in the Defensor combine mode. But I really like MMC's Hotspot, how that's looking. So yeah, eventually I'll have some more Hotspots. Technically, I do because of Guardia up there, but I like Guardia's combined mode, so that's what we got. And we've got Unique Toys, Gazronka, their version of Swindle, who has been repro labeled up, as well as very, very subtly custom painted with some purple eyes just to make them a little bit brighter. Still think that's a really cool standalone figure, even though Ragnaros as a combiner is a bit especially compared to Ocular Max's Assaultus. And behind them, speaking of, there is Ocular Max Assaultus's Probus. What's this one? It's Probus something or other. I forget the qualifier they added to it, but it's basically G2 Colors Brawl. I just had to get this guy because the figure itself is cool, and the the green and purple almost G2 Megatron-esque color scheme is just too perfect. So just as a standalone figure, that guy is great. I don't plan on getting the full combined team for the G2 colors, but I do like that guy. And now we come to the miscellaneous shelves. These next two shelves are the shelves where I have Finley is sleeping. Finley is trying to sleep, but I won't be quiet. Oh, there he goes. We're losing him. There he goes. But yeah, this shelf is Autobots, this shelf is Decepticons, and these are all figures that I only have one representation of the character for. So basically, like, there are no other figures for Frankentron. I don't own any other figures for G-Axis, that kind of thing. So because of that, that's how I've got these all organized. And this is all the Decepticons. You'll understand when we get to the video on this 2-pack why he's here. But yeah, this is all the bad guys that I only have one figure of. So I'll start from the right. We've got Legacy Core Class Iguanus with repro labels. That's such a fun little core class. There is Action Toys Steam Robo, who is not a Decepticon, but I believe he is a Renegade, so he's a bad guy GoBot, and that figure is still spectacular. So glad I've held on to it all this time. Legacy G-Axis with repro labels, and he looks stunning with repro labels. I think we can all freely admit that. And behind them, we've got Transformers Adventure Thunderhoof with repro labels, which is another weird but fantastic figure. Also Transformers Adventure Fracture with repro labels. He didn't really need many, but they just make him pop a little bit more. And then Mastermind Creations it was reformatted. Aether Beta, their version of Deadlock, who I did a little bit of custom work on. I made a video on this guy already, but I repainted that mustard yellow and gold, added a Decepticon logo, added some black, red, and gold to the head, and I really, really like this guy. And we've got a repro labeled up Legacy Tarn, and a repro labeled up Kingdom Cyclonus. Two excellent purple Voyagers. Yeah, moving over here in the back, we've got Revenge of the Fallen Mindwipe, also a classic. In front of him, we're kind of got a little bit of a movie, like live-action movie theme going on in this little section here. But yeah, Mindwipe, then Studio Series Sideways, which I don't know, there's something about this little unassuming bug-like deluxe that I just love. Revenge of the Fallen Lockdown. Was it Reveal the Shield or Hunt for the Decepticons? It was one of those like weird little lines that came out back for Revenge of the Fallen, like not Studio Series, but Revenge of the Fallen. He's a deluxe. He's a huge deluxe, but yeah, he's excellent. Studio Series Scourge with Freezer, just kind of plugged into his arm there. Freezer's okay, but he works as an accessory. Scourge is great. I am absolutely getting the DNA upgrade kits. They just need to actually come out. And then we've got the Jurassic Park 2-pack, the newer Jurassic Park collaborative 2-pack of Dilophoton and JP12. And I've made a video on these guys. It will be up in, I want to say, a week or two. I don't really remember the timing or scheduling order, but there is a video on these guys coming. And to spoil things, I really like this 2-pack, and it is so much better than the first Jurassic Park collaborative 2-pack we got. But you can watch the full video for my reasoning behind that. Then we've got Transformers United Lugnut, the Takara version of Reveal the Shield Lugnut. I keep getting this figure and then getting rid of it and keep wondering why I get rid of it, because it is yet another all-timer. And when I saw a listing for this that was an eBay listing for an auction that was actually pretty reasonably priced to start, and I was just like, I'm going to go for it. And I won, and I got him, and he does not have his missile, but that's okay. At least I don't think he has his missile. But yeah, it's just a great figure, and it looks great in those colors. And then behind that, speaking of looking great in those colors, we've got Fans Hobbies Huntsman. Made a video on this guy a little while back too, and yeah, this is a great figure. The deco is fantastic. Actually, as I'm recording this, Fans Hobby and the Chosen Prime revealed their Machine Wars Soundwave recolor of this mold, and it looks really good, but I'm good because this one appeals to me so much more than Machine Wars Soundwave in terms of like color and stuff. Though I probably would have gotten that if I couldn't have gotten this guy, but I'm so glad I got this guy. And now moving down to the Autobot, pretty much Autobot shelf. Here again are all of the one-offs where I don't have any other versions of these particular characters in toy form. Now we'll start from the left this time. So we've got... Let me try to angle this right. Here we've got Buzzworthy Cup. Not Studio Series, but Buzzworthy, because I just like the colors better. Got repro labels on him, and I'm still very much into this figure. I know it has a lot of haters, but I am not one of them. And then Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Brawn, who is also fantastic. I love this Brawn, and the repro label set really pops. Legacy Minerva. No, not Minerva. Yes, Minerva. Yes? Yes. I was getting confused for a second and thinking Alita 1 was... I was thinking Minerva was Alita 1. Yeah, but Minerva. She's a pretty good figure, but I'm never ever getting rid of this one because of personal reasons, which I went over in her video, I believe. And then over here, Rotor Storm, Generation Selects Rotor Storm. I still have him. He is covered in repro labels. He is awesome. Don't use him in size comparisons anymore, but he's still fantastic. And then I've also got the Black and whatever this guy's name is, Micro Master set from Siege or Earthrise, whichever one. They make an okay gun. It's better than a lot of the other gun modes that the Micromasters from that line had, but I mainly got it for flak. But they take up less space this way, so yeah. And also they look good with Rotor Storm holding them like that in gun form, but I don't know. He's simple, but I really like that flak. Speaking of flak, we'll get to him. And then we've got Ova Prime, who has been a mainstay of size comparisons lately. The Samus Amiibo. Yes, I know either of these are not really supposed to be here, but like I've been keeping my size comparison stuff together. So I just keep these there with the rest of them. There we've got the Duck Tank. Woo! Yeah, Mastermind Creations Spartan, their version of Impactor, with repro labels and having been panel lined. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't get rid of this guy now because he is the channel mascot. So yeah. And then we've got Generation Selects Artfire, also with repro labels, another mainstay for size comparisons, and of course our other size comparison, always there figure, Legacy Velocitron Burnout with repro labels, which they look so good on her. And in the back here, we've got Masterpiece Reboost, who is fantastic. I got him on sale when Pulse was having a sale like a while back, and he's great, and the repro labels look great, and it's just great. And then BotCon Flak. This was one that I've been wanting for a while because I always liked the scattershot / drop shot mold. The Cybertron, I believe, mold, or I guess it was Universe drop shot, but it doesn't matter. That mold, I always liked this mold, and I like the figures, but like I thought if I'm gonna track one of these down, because I got rid of my my scattershot a while back, but I figured if I'm gonna track this guy down, this mold down, I want to do it as stylishly as possible. So BotCon Flak was available from one of the eBay sellers that I routinely go through, and it was reasonably priced for what it is, and I got it. And I have not made a video on it yet, primarily because this is not a new mold to the channel, but like he's so pretty. The colors are so good, the paint detailing is really good, I love the new head sculpt, and it's just great. I really do like this figure. And now in the front here, we've got Clawjaw, Beast Wars Clawjaw. I was going to call him Tentakill for a second. It's like, that's not right. But yeah, Beast Wars Clawjaw, funny little man, funny little squid man. And then Transformers Collectors Club, Depth Charge, their repaint of the, what was the figures? Terradive, their repaint of the Terradive mold. Also another, it's a great mold, and it looks so good in these colors. And Rise of the Beast mainline Air Razor, because this is just a great figure, and she's a great toy, and I just love this figure. And then finally, we've got the Takara version of Beast Wars Neo, or Beast Wars 2nd, I think it was Beast Wars Neo, but Kurata. This is the Takara version, where you've got silver, basically, in a lot of key places, rather than like a beige or a white. It's a very subtle difference in terms of paint, but it is there, and I actually like the slightly more subdued tones that this guy has. I mean, I already made a video on this guy and explained all this. And finally, Buzzworthy Dinobots. I know this is a bit of a weird pull, but honestly, this is my personal favorite rendition of the mold, and that includes what I've seen of the premium version, because I used to own Beast Wars Dinobot, and this is the toy deco, and it speaks to me even more than the cartoon version, because I was more into the toys. I've always been more into the toys than the shows, with the exception of like Cyberverse and Prime. So I'm into those pretty equally. But those are the shows I've actually really watched and really like. But never really watched all of Beast Wars. Was never super into the show, but I was always into the toys, and so I owned Dinobot. But it was this version of Dinobot, and that's why I still have this. All right. Now we can get off the floor and zip around to look at some more. Oh, I should have moved that. Okay, so this is a cat toy. The reason this is up here is because it makes noise when it moves, and we don't want the cats knocking this thing around late at night, so we put it up here when it's not in use, because we don't want them annoying the crap out of us. So yeah, that's not part of the collection. At least not until I get a second one and can put it on like a shared shelf. Anyway, we've got Earthrise Scorponok with the one set of DNA upgrades, just the one that comes with like the shield extensions and the can't really tell from here, but the scorpion legs, because that was a huge complaint I had with the original version of the figure. So this guy has the one set of upgrades. It's the only set I wanted, but yeah, maybe one day I'll get Reaper labels for him. I don't know. And then also Fans Hobbies Double Evil, of course, their version of Overlord, because it's just a great figure. And then we come down to the Emperor of Destruction himself, who I did also make a video on, so I'm not really going to get into how fantastic this set is, but there is Deathsaurus and his little Micromaster buddies, who now that I have Starsaber, I definitely appreciate these two more, because oh my goodness, Fire and Holly kind of suck a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to explain that, but there's a little Porcelain Vulture. All right, now we get into the themed shelves. This entire bookcase is all Decepticons. And not only is it all Decepticons, but they are organized by character. So up here, we have... Actually, these two top shelves are all Nemesis Prime. And that includes Mastermind Creations Optus Nox, Legacy Velocitron's Scourge. Yes, still a fan of her. The 2-pack Dark Side Optimus Prime, the Takara repaint version of that. Again, made a video of him recently. And his buddy is on the Megatron shelf, because yes, there's a Megatron shelf. Make Toys Thunder Erebus with the armor set on. Still fantastic. And then I recently got a hold, or reacquired, the knockoff of Make Toys Striker Noir. That's what that one's called. Because Nemesis Prime shelf, and also because this is just a fantastic figure. We have the Takara version of basically Titan's Return Scourge. That was another one that I wanted to add to the collection, was able to do that towards the tail end of 2023. But his video is going to have to wait because I've decided from this point on I'm exclusively going to save all of my new Nemesis Prime figure videos for September because of the theme month. So as of right now, this is one of only 2 Nemesis Primes I haven't made a video on, but I will eventually, but that's not coming for a while. And we've got the oversized knockoff of Unique Toys version of Nemesis Prime. BS02, I think, was the name this goes by. Again, great figure, a little big, but great. And Generation Toys Nemesis Colors version of their IDW Optimus Prime. That is another just always... that figure is not going anywhere unless it's like a dire situation. And we've got Transformers Go Black Optimus Prime, I believe. Oh, wait, no, that's right. His name was actually kind of inappropriate, so I'm just going to... yeah. I don't remember the exact order of the words, but I'm not going to try and repeat it. But basically, yeah, great mold, great deco. And then way in the back there, we've got Universe Nemesis Prime from the Big Convoy mold, also fantastic. Planet X is Charon. That is the Planet X version, and also great figure. We've got Legacy Nemesis Leo Prime, who is a cool figure in his own right. The Leo Convoy mold is great, but like this guy, love this guy, and with the repro labels especially, it really, really helps because of the somewhat monotone look the figure has by default. And then we've got Nemesis Primal, I think, from the Buzzworthy multi-pack from a couple of years ago. Still love that guy. And moving down to the next shelf, we have Nucleon Quest Super Convoy, basically Nemesis Jinrai, though he's not technically Nemesis because he's just Optimus Prime in black. Speaking of not actually Nemesis, we've got the Transformers Animated Black Optimus Prime. Also great. In front of that, there's the Takara version of Siege Nemesis Prime with repro labels now, thanks to Diana getting me some repro labels for the holidays. Magic Squares, whatever this thing's called, Nemesis Colors, the 2.0 version. And then we've got New Ages Famine, Legends Scale Nemesis Prime, Core Class Legacy Nemesis Prime, Metagates, I forget this guy's name, but Metagates version of Nemesis Prime, like a Legends Scale Bumblebee movie Nemesis Prime. I'll come back to that one. The MPM-12N figure with DNA upgrades. A knockoff of Studio Series 38, I believe, Optimus Prime in Nemesis colors. This is not the recently revealed Takara version that is an official Nemesis Prime repaint. This is a knockoff, and I just think the Takara version is a little bit like, really? You all are doing this now when the knockoff has been available for like 2 years and is $30? Okay. But yeah, that's the knockoff, but still a great figure. And then Power of the Primes Nemesis Prime with repro labels. Transformers United Black Optimus Prime, I believe, because this wasn't Nemesis on the box, but it's totally Nemesis because he does have the Decepticon logos, and it's just Classics Prime and Nemesis colors, so it's it's awesome. And now this is a custom I've been eyeing for months that I used a little bit of my holiday money to get. This is a custom from Deceptipunk Customs. I've covered one of his figures in the past, one of their figures in the past, on the channel. The Cyberverse, the big Cyberverse, like Ultra Class. Is it Ultra Class? I think it was more than Ultra Class, but the Grimlock. And yeah, this is Rise of the Beasts mainline Optimus Prime, but completely repainted in Nemesis colors, and it is glorious. Got to be careful with the transformation because, custom paint can scratch and all that, but like it does transform and it just looks amazing, and also comes with this sword. And I've been wanting him for so long I couldn't pass it up when the opportunity arose. Now here we come to one of 2 Megatron shelves. First, we have the anniversary version of the original Beast Wars Megatron. just a fantastic figure that looks great. RID Megatronus, specifically the Toys R Us version that has the faceplate down with repro labels on. Universe, I think, or maybe Generations, but I think Universe Legends Scale Megatron. Also just a great little guy. Make Toys Rider Despotron. I'm shocked that with Make Toys reissuing so many things, they have not reissued this guy yet, because it's a great figure, and come on, there have been so many Optimus Primes that they've reissued. You gotta do Megatron now. Studio Series Gamer. Okay, that's both a sarcastic cough, but was also legitimate. I hate the Gamer edition. But Studio Series War for Cybertron Megatron. I have modded his knees so they can bend properly now. I do actually like this figure. I want to get repro labels for him. RID Megatron. This is, I could see why so many people speak so highly of this guy. He is weird, but he is, I guess, regal is a good way to describe him. And just kind of fun to mess with, even if he's a little bit wonky in places. New Age, I think it was Agamemnon. I forget what name New Age gave him, but thankfully it wasn't one of the Nazi names. But the comics, Legend Scale comics color version of Megatron. There is Minor Megatron from the Legacy 2-pack with Ratbat. He has repro labels, and he looks great. I do hope that we eventually get an upgrade kit that makes his drill tank mode look a little bit less why did we even bother, but in robot mode he looks fantastic. And Classics, well, this isn't actually Classics Megatron, this is Henkei Megatron, and he has been customized. I painted a lot of silver all over him because I wanted his arms to better match his torso. It's not exact, but like I wanted things to match a little bit more, added some more detail. So he is a custom. Legacy, Generation Selects, not Legacy, Generation Selects Galvatron. Want to get repro labels for him because toy colors are great, and I just want to really push that toyness. Darkside Megatron. He is the second half of the 2-pack that came with the War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime, or Nemesis Prime, or Black Optimus Prime, whatever. He is the other half of the 2-pack. He is neat, and also he is different enough that I don't mind having him and him. I mean, they are completely different figures, but I like that the deco is also completely different. And we've got Legacy Legends Scale Energon Megatron. He's pretty fun, though I don't think he really holds a candle to the G2 version of Core Class Kingdom Megatron. I don't think this specific G2 Colors version was from Kingdom, but like the mold was from Kingdom, if I remember right. And yeah, fun little guy. He's got repro labels now, and yeah. And then we've got my custom of Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe Megatron, who I'm, after all this time, he is the only Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe that I've held onto, even though I made like a full-blown year-long project of getting a hold of almost all of the Cyberverse Adventures Deluxes and repainting them. And then Thunder Howl, because Thunder Howl's Ultra version was better than his Deluxe in terms of coloring. But yeah, still have Cockney Megatron, and it's a cool figure. I don't know. I really like this figure of Megatron. It's got a really interesting transformation, and I like the added paint that I did. And now down here, we've got Monocrat Megatank. Still need to get figure out a repro label situation for him or some kind of Decepticon logo, but he's cool. I'm very excited to put him next to the Studio Series live-action Nightverse Megatron, the concept art Megatron from the live-action movies that is, as of this recording, coming out, but has not actually come out yet. I want to put them together. Fans Hobby Meg Tyranno, their version of Armada Megatron, and then Legacy Armada Megatron. And then we've got Generation Toys Tyrant. I was so happy to get a hold of this guy earlier this last year. It's last year now. I was so excited to get a hold of this guy because he is neat, and I've been wanting him for so long. And then I forget the company that makes this. It's a knockoff of Unique Toys Dragoon. The figure's name is Skybreaker. I just forget if it's like Black Mamba or some other company. But, you know, it's the same exact figure, but slightly smaller. The engineering on the shoulders is weirdly hampered for the transformation for some reason. He's got additional finger articulation, and I did a kind of wash over the whole figure to add some kind of weathered looks to him. So that guy is still cool. Now moving down from there, we've got the... we're getting into the combinations now because I don't have enough to fill an entire shelf of these characters, but we've got my Seekers and Shockwaves. So in the back, we've got Cyber Factory Starstorm. Still absolutely love that version of Starscream. That figure is great. If you get the chance to get it, get it. It's Bumblebee movie Starscream, but it's great. Planet X's Fatum or however you pronounce it, their version of War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron. No, it's Fall of Cybertron. Thundercracker. I really like that figure too. And because I have this, I don't mind getting the Studio Series Gamer version of Starscream, because different character, completely different mold. I'm hoping they do something about that overly bulbous cockpit and teeny tiny wings, but it looks fun aside from that. Anyway, there is it's like a cat hair. There is Tiny Turbochargers Starscream from the Michael Bay movies. It's just a fun little fidget toy, basically. Prime First Edition Starscream. It's a slight custom with some red on like the missiles and the head crest and some of the fins on the sides of the legs. And we've got Reactivate Starscream. Fantastic figure. Video for that went up semi-recently. Check that out if you haven't. Great figure, though. All the Reactivate figures have been great. And then, because it's yet another all-timer, we've got Hunt for the Decepticons Leader Class Starscream. He's just chilling back there with his frustratingly limited hands. Or the gorilla arms. It's just the gorilla arms, but still an all-timer. And then we come to the Shockwaves with Cloud9's Quake Blast, with the solid purple hand, which I prefer. It's been customized a little bit with some black and yellow painted on the quote-unquote face, Ripper label, and then I also painted the biceps silver because it just balances out better with the silver on the shoulders, I feel. And we've got Generation Selects Galactic Man Shockwave. I don't have the accessory bits for him anymore, which is fine because he looks better like this, as far as I'm concerned, but it's just a great Shockwave. Legacy Core Class Shockwave. Also personal reasons why I'm holding on to him like I have been, and will never get rid of him. But fun little figure for what he is. Definitely has his limitations, but he's pretty cool. And he's got Reaper labels on him now. And then we've got Combiner Wars Shockwave. Legends Shockwave, was it? I don't remember if it was still Legends back then. But this guy's cool. He makes a great gun. I don't know who to actually have hold him, because the only one with a peg, the only Shockwave that could hold him is Galactic Man Shockwave, and because of the shape of his weird little pointy outy knuckle fist, he holds him at a weird angle, so he's in robot mode. And then Core Class Studio Series Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie. I am interested in that Voyager. Even if he doesn't have bicep swivels, it's fine. It's fine. I think we can all live. And also, I guarantee you DNA is going to come up with like an upgrade kit to give him bicep swivels. So we just got to be patient. And I'm getting him anyway, so it is what it is. But now we come to Shockwave and Friends. Shockwave, Soundwave and Friends. So this entire shelf is all Soundwave and Soundwave minions in one form or another. As you can tell, because those rat bats do not turn into cassettes. But we've got New Age Mista, great third-party Soundwave from Dark of the Moon. Reactivate Soundwave. I actually still really like this guy. Karate Kid. I think it's Karate Kid. New Age's Karate Kid. Their Legend Scale not G2, Shattered Glass Soundwave. Still need to make a video on him too. Takara United Rat Bat from the Scourge mold. from the Generations or Thrilling 30, whatever it was, Scourge mold. That's also a cool figure and a fun rendition of Ratbat. It works really well as Ratbat. This is just the little Ravage figurine that comes with New Age Mista. There is a G1 Overkill. I actually used to own an Overkill back in the day, and I just think it's kind of neat. This little cassette that turns into a horned T-Rex. Or possibly it was supposed to be a Carnotaurus, I don't know. But it's just neat. It's fun. He has no accessories, and he's a little bit beat up and weathered, but I don't care. He's precious. And back, way in the back, because he's the biggest one out of all of them, we've got Robot Paradises, or Fans Toys, really. Soundwave. What was this? Acoustic Wave, I think was his name. I switched things up a little bit recently after watching Dr. Lockdown's video on the figure, because I do like the Toy Deco accessory bits, so I switched him up for the Toy Deco. Also, I've got the Cartoon Colors G1 reissue of Soundwave on pre-order from Hasbro Pulse, so I think it'd be kind of fun to have the big third-party fancy kind of like a primarily cartoon design Soundwave made to look like the toy, and then have the actual literal G1 toy Soundwave made to look like the cartoon. I just think that's kind of a fun juxtaposition. But yeah, I've got that coming. We've got Movie the Best, or Anniversary Dark of the Moon Soundwave from Takara, which is the Human Alliance Soundwave mold, but painted up to look more like the actual Dark of the Moon appearance. And I don't care what people say, I still really like this figure. No, it's not accurate. Yes, he's weird, but I really like that. I am totally into it. And also, Energon Cubes and Tiny Turbo Changers Dark of the Moon Soundwave. And also, I don't know what the names are for the cassette bots for the Robot Paradise or Fans Toys Soundwave, but that's the Ravage that comes with them. And also he's got Laserbeak. Now back here we've got Legacy Ratbat from the 2-pack, so Senator Ratbat from that 2-pack with Minor Megatron, and he has repro labels on, and they look so good. And this is a neat figure, once again made from a Scourge mold, so it is kind of funny how we've got Ratbat from Scourge and Ratbat from Scourge, but he looks great with the repro labels. I do really like this figure as well. Animated Soundwave. It's a good figure. It's a good figure. And then here, I don't know the name of the original or this particular company, but basically a third-party company made a basically Legends scale Dark of the Moon Soundwave figure, and I liked what that figure was doing, but it was a freaking nightmare to transform, not the least of which because of its scale. And then a company came along and did an oversized knockoff of it and basically brought this in line with New Age Mista. They're roughly the same height, so kind of like movie masterpiece sized. And yeah, this figure at a larger scale is really cool. Did not work at Legend scale, but I think at masterpiece scale it's able to shine a lot better. That transformation is still a little bit like involved, but it's nowhere near as annoying and fiddly. And at the very bottom we have the Decepticons that I only have a handful of each. So like 3+, or I guess actually exactly 3 in this case. I just realized it's 3 sets of 3, and one of those sets of 3 is comprised of 3 robots. I didn't plan that. It just kind of worked out that way. That's weird. Anyway, here we've got all the double dealers that I currently own. There's Fans Hobbies Double Agent, who is great. Again, made a video of him with Huntsman. Earthrise Double Dealer with repro labels, and his Power Masters, or whatever they're calling them, from Earthrise. Scar is plugged into his back, but they also have repro labels. And then DX9's Vasily, their Legends scale double dealer, who is very cool. I just wish his face was blue. And also, like, the ab crunch and waist rotation, I just don't understand how that worked out, but hey, you can check the video for all that stuff. Now, the reflectors. In the front, we've got the Magic Square video team in toy colors. Then we have the Siege, I think it was, 3-pack. of Reflector or Refractor with repro labels. And then behind that, TFC's Photron? Was it Photron? I can't remember if there's more to the name than Photron, but their version of Reflector, and also with repro labels. And this is a fun set. It's old school TFC, so it was back when they were making toys, not so much collectibles, which I can completely get behind. And yeah, this is a cool set. Still need to make a video on them too. And then we come to the Dreadwinds. I have multiple Dreadwinds. There's Power of the Primes Dreadwind with repro labels, G1 Dreadwind with repro labels, and Fans Hobby Brightstorm. I got the name right in one go now. And also, I have videos for all of these guys on the channel, so yay for that. I'm able to keep up kind of, sort of, to a degree, maybe. And now we come to the Autobots, starting with Victory Saber. This guy, I mentioned it in the Deathsaurus video. I did not actually have, let me turn this light off. I did not actually have Victory Saber when I made the Deathsaurus video. I actually didn't think I'd ever get him. And then Hasbro was like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to be doing a temporary sale of our backstock HasLab projects that we still actually have copies of. And I was lucky enough to jump in and grab a Victory Saber when that opportunity arose. So I now have Victory Saber. I think he's really cool, but he does not hold a candle to Deathsaurus, which is just, I think it's partially because of just the experience and feedback that Hasbro got from this. So Deathsaurus would not, I don't think Deathsaurus would be as awesome as he is today if Victory Saber didn't come out first. But even with its small problems, Victory Saber is great. This was one of the later runs. The main way you could tell is because he came packaged with little plastic covers over the chrome on the chest for both Star Saber and Victory Leo. And I don't have any QC issues. I haven't been able to spot any anyway. Like, all the paint seems fine. I didn't go over them super carefully, but I haven't noticed any issues with that. All the issues I have with this guy are just like basic design stuff that everyone has issues with, like the little panels on the insides of the legs popping out if you're not careful when you're moving the legs and things like that. But it's fine. It's a cool set. It's a really cool set. And I will be making a video on him in the future. He is on my to-do list. I may even be making that video this weekend. I don't know. But point is, I got Victory Saber, and he is very cool. And I have things set up specifically so that Deathsaurus and Victory Saber are kind of flanking, or not flanking, but bookending the Decepticon shelf. And Victory Saber just kind of kicks off the Autobot display. And Fire and Holly are, I don't want to say trash, that's too mean. But I don't like them. They're very meh. The paint is nice, but like build quality sucks. Their legs pop off, and this is the renewed version, the upgraded, or not upgraded, the better QC version that I got. So yeah, it's just Oh, also, Victory Saber has the the DNA upgrade kits. So he's got the longer sword and the longer cannons that don't have waffles and the longer wings. And I actually have the regular sword holstered because what I like to do is give him the big sword for Victory Saber and switch to the smaller sword for Star Saber. This is what I like to do. Anyway, on to the Hot Rod and Rodimus Prime and whatever version of him shelf, which is Power of the Primes Rodimus Unicronus with repro labels, DX9's Terror, Generation Select, maybe? The Shattered Glass 2-pack that included Shattered Glass, Hot Rod, and Shattered Glass Sideswipe. So there's Hot Rod. The G1 retro reissue of Hot Rod in movie colors, which for a G1 toy, this guy's actually really cool. And this is the first time I ever experienced it. DX9's Lahire, the Last Night version of Hot Rod. Hate the movie, but the figure's really cool. Transformers Animated Black Rodimus, I think. I don't remember the name of this guy either. It was another Takara release, and I really liked the figure. Really wanted to get this particular color scheme, and was finally able to this past last year, 2023. So that made me happy. And now below Hot Rod, we have the Ultra Magni. There is Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus from this was the Earthrise mold, I believe. And yeah, got him with repro labels. I said in the video he needed repro labels, and I got them, and they're great. Hero Hobby... Tiny Magnus? I'm sorry, I don't remember this figure's name. It's from Hero Hobby, the same company that makes Tiny Rex, which is like a little super deformed, chibi-sized, working, transforming Grimlock. I want that Grimlock, but he's difficult to find for a semi-reasonable price. But I did get this version of Ultra Magnus when he was on sale at BBTS, and he's a fun little guy. And then New Age Octavian in toy colors, who I finally made a video on this last month, I think, as of this recording. And yeah, just love this little Legend scale toy colors Magnus. And finally, in this column, we're not done yet, but in this column we've got all my Jazzes and Cosmoses. The reason Cosmos is here is because I just needed to make things fit, basically. But we have Make Toys Downbeat, Takara's United version of Jazz from Reveal the Shield, which is just Reveal the Shield Jazz, but in better colors with more paint. So love him. Magic Squares Blues, their Legend scale Jazz, which I did a video on semi-recently. Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origins Jazz with repro labels. And then the reissue that came from that 5-pack of Studio Series 2007, Transformers 2007 Jazz, who's still I don't know, I really like this figure. It's a fun figure to mess with, surprisingly, and it's got really nice proportions. And then for Cosmos, we have Transformers Adventure Atoms, so I guess technically not Cosmos. And he's using whatever the shuttle Earthrise Micromasters team is called. I forget these guys' names because I really don't care. I used to own the G1 toy and thought it was neat. And then I got these guys, and as individual Micromasters, they do kind of suck. But I don't have the little payload guy that came with Generations Cosmos or Thrilling 30 Cosmos, because Atoms didn't come with that. So I thought, I'll use these guys to make a rocket ship or space shuttle bazooka for Atoms, and I think that actually looks really cool. And then for the last Cosmos, we have, pardon me, we have Velocitron, Legacy Velocitron Cosmos with repro labels. And his flag is buried back there. I'm kind of disappointed the repro labels set did not include a pride flag for him. I was kind of hoping they would do that, but oh well. I could always switch it out and make my own if I wanted to at some point. Now, coming to the end of the Transformers anyway, here is the Dinobot shelf, which is almost entirely Grimlocks, but not entirely. Here's the G2 Colors version of Planet X Vulcan. Bought this off of Grimlockamus through Twitter, so I don't think he's ever going to watch this, but if that ever happens, thank you so much for selling this to me. I love this deco, I love this figure, and I was just so happy to get the G2 version of it and replace my standard Vulcan with this. And also he has repro labels. And then along the back, I've got the Leader Class Studio Series Dinobots with Slug, Sludge, Grimlock, and Snarl, with a deliberate gap for Swoop whenever, as of this video, they have not even, I don't think they've even officially announced him yet. I think it's been confirmed that he's coming, but we haven't gotten any kind of, reveals or anything like that, so still waiting on that Swoop. But yeah, all of the Studio Series Leader Class Dinobots have repro labels on them, and Grimlock has also been slightly customized in addition to the repro labels, I did some painting in a few different spots. So, got almost the entire team there. And then I just could not get enough of Studio Series 86 Grimlock, so I've got the G2 prototype version with Reaper labels, and also the Shattered Glass version with Reaper labels. And then we have Iron Factory's Daishogun Bumaru, their samurai motif Grimlock, which is just a fun, really amazing looking figure. Power of the Prime Slash. I still, pardon, as simple as she is, I still really like this figure, and she also has Reaper labels on her. The Legacy Core Class Dinobots as they're in their Volcanicus combined mode. I like this set a lot. Like, the individual bots are fun, and Volcanicus is silly, but like in a fun way. I have Reaper labels for this set, for like all of them. Diana got me that for the holidays as well. I just haven't applied them yet. But I will be doing that at some point. And then we have Earthspark Deluxe Grimlock, the kind of remold / repaint taken from Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe Grimlock, which I still am absolutely into that mold. It's a great mold. I don't care what anyone else says, and I like this deco for it, so I have him now. I no longer have my other custom that I did of the actual Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe Grimlock, but this kind of replaced that. And Shattered Glass Studio Series Grimlock. And Alternators Grimlock. I love this weird little thing. He is fiddly to transform in the torso area, but he's not that hard once you know what to do. It's just, yeah. And I love how weird and different it is to have Grimlock as a Mustang. Now to round out the Transformers, the Autobots specifically. Oh, there's a thing I need to take off the shelf that I forgot to take off before I started filming. Oh, did not mean to focus so hard on the crotch there, but yeah, we've got the Optimus Prime shelves, and I say shelves because it's just, these are very, you can see these are very narrow, but we've got the original Leader Class Cybertron Optimus Prime. This is not the Siege version, this is the classic version that has the lights and sounds and uses the Cyber Key and comes with firing missiles and all that. And then there's RID 2001 Optimus Prime in his big old fire truck super mode. I want to get the Ultra Magnus. I used to own that one, both of them back in the day, and I really want to get that Ultra Magnus again. Other stuff keeps coming up, you know? But I want to be able to do that so I can make Omega Prime and have Omega Prime on the shelf here. And then we've got Legacy Armada Optimus Prime, who is awaiting. Eventually I plan to get Reaper labels for him and the DNA upgrade kits. Definitely the Reaper labels, but yeah, just a great figure. It's a great figure. And then the remaining Optimus Primes, there is Reactivate Prime, whose video actually just went up recently. Holiday Prime with Reaper labels. It's a great mold, and I love the weirdness of Prime as Santa Claus. Rise of the Beasts mainline Optimus Prime with Reaper labels now. Still a great figure, but I have the Nemesis version, so the custom Nemesis version, I should say, because there isn't actually a Nemesis version. And then Studio Series Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. He is awaiting Reaper labels, and I am waiting for the DNA upgrade kit to come out for him as well. I have it pre-ordered. I'm just waiting for it to come out. And below Optimus Prime, we have Bumblebee and RC. So in the back, we've got Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe Bumblebee. I sold my custom a while back and really missed it because it's a really good Bumblebee figure. So I got this one for cheap and plan to do another round of customizing at some point. I just haven't had the time. Legacy Animated Bumblebee. The people hating on this thing because it's small really need to just chill, is all I'm going to say. But yeah, great figure. My original G1 Bumblebee that I've owned for over 30 years. Over 35 years, jeez. Close to 40, wow. But yeah, that is my original toy. That toy is almost as old as I am, and that is the thing that got me into Transformers, so that's never going anywhere. And then Studio Series Fall of Cybertron Bumblebee. He's awaiting Reaper labels. I also still really like this figure, so yeah. And then Reactivate Bumblebee, who is shockingly amazing. Like, that Starscream is great, but I was really surprised at just how much I like Reactivate Bumblebee. That transformation does some really interesting stuff. And he just looks cool. And you can kind of see that he's tall. Like, he's on the same level as Studio Series War for Cybertron Bumblebee. So that's how much taller he is than War for Cybertron Bumblebee. And in front of that, we've got the RCs that I used to have more, but have kind of refined the collection a bit. So we've got the APC Toys knockoff of First Edition RC, because First Edition RC is awesome, and this has slightly better paint and coloring, and it's easier to get for cheaper, or was easier to get for cheaper than the actual First Edition. Titans Return RC with Reaper labels. I really like this mold, and if I'm going to have one version of it, it's going to be RC. So, yeah. Great figure, and she looks great with Reaper labels. Studio Series Bumblebee Movie RC, another great figure. I had Javelin briefly, and it is still a great mold, but it's just, I have RCs. I don't have multiple Javelin figures, so it's like, I don't want two versions of the same mold when I can avoid it, so I kept RC. And then my customized a long time ago, but still have it, Transformers Animated RC that has been painted, not fully, but there's a lot of paint on her. I put in a lot of work over like 3 completely different customizing sessions spread out over multiple years. But yeah, like that figure still, and I'm still really proud of the custom work I did. And for the last of the Transformers figures, we have, kind of bringing up the last of it, Bulkhead, Sideswipe, and Blur, because I only have 2 of each of them. Cosmos was originally sharing the shelf with them, but it was getting kind of crowded, and I also wanted to fill out the shelf with Jazz on it. So, there is the APC Toys knockoff of First Edition Bulkhead. Much like RC, it's because, he was easier to get a hold of and a lot cheaper. So, got him. I used to have the official First Edition, and then I sold it, and was just like, why did I do that? So yeah, this was much easier and cheaper to get a hold of after the fact, and he does have Reaper labels on him, so got that. There's the Cyberverse Commander version of Bulkhead, and he's a fun little Legend scale, or Legion scale, whatever it is, Legend scale, I think, toy. He's fun. He's simple, but he's fun. But also surprisingly posable, despite his size and simplicity. My masterpiece G2 Sideswipe, who I finally got Reaper labels for. Back when I made his video however many years ago, I said I didn't want to do it because I thought it would ruin his finish. But I really do like the contrast you get from those bright green stickers and the rest of the stickers that are kind of toyetic. I really like how he looks with the Reaper labels. The only thing that bums me out about the Reaper labels set is the fluorescent green that they show in the screenshots is not what this was. This is a much duller green than I was expecting. It's still vibrant and it still pops when it's on the black, but it is not as vibrant as those screenshots make it look. So that was disappointing. I don't regret getting them, I just was a little disappointed. And we've got Shattered Glass Sideswipe from the 2-pack with Shattered Glass Hot Rod, and also Whisper, the mini-con that he comes with. And it's a great mold, it looks great, I love the colors, and I also got the Reaper label set for that, or I should say Diana got me the Reaper label set for him. And he looks great with the Reaper labels, because they usually do. Sorry. And then, to finish out the last of the Transformer collection, here is Animated Blur, still a great figure. He's got his limitations, but he is very cool. And yeah, I love him. I love the size change that he goes through too. And then we also have Velocitron Blur, who I said in his video is a great figure, but he just needed some added color with Reaper labels. And then we got the Reaper labels, and yeah, this figure is fantastic with the Reaper labels. So I'm glad we finally got those. And finally, we come to the shelf full of Korean bots and Sentai stuff. So we're actually going to start from the bottom since I'm already on the floor. Here we've got Hello Carbot Pentastorm X. And then the video for this guy is not up yet, but there is one coming. This is Mini-Force Super Cops Justice Titan. And this is a copolymer combiner, meaning it is vehicles that transform and combine to make one robot. The vehicles themselves do not have robot modes, unlike Pentastorm X, where you've got 5 vehicles that turn into 5 robots that all combine. This is 5 vehicles that combine to make a robot. But this is a cool combiner. Unfortunate theming aside, it looks really cool, and it actually has a lot of posability. Like a shocking amount of posability for a Korean combiner. Above that is mostly the Tobot shelf. These guys, they're not like actually matching a specific theme. It's just they're really big, so they go on the bottom. On the mostly Tobot shelf, we have Mini-Force, whatever this thing is called. I forget its name because I never really cared to look it up. I just think it looks cool because it's so wild and silly and like classic Power Rangers and Sentai levels of what? So that's a fun set. And it is 3 individual robots that have vehicle modes or multiple vehicle modes in some cases, and then they combine to make one big, well, actually 2 of them combine to make a big robot, and then a third one gets added to make an even bigger robot. So it's also very Sentai-ish in that regard. And the rest of them are Tobots. So there's Tobot v Wild Chief, still my favorite standalone Tobot or standalone Korean robot that I have. Tobot v Airhide, who is also extremely good. Tobot Z, the remake version that came out in not remake, but like the new version that came out in 2023. Tobot Classic, who is a custom. I did a lot of gold paint over this kind of whatever yellow plastic, so like it's some like pretty much all of this gold that doesn't quite match the gold on his chest is stuff that I painted. But I love that guy, even though he is very limited in articulation. And then Tobot v Big Troll, who's another figure that I'm just never going to get rid of. And now we come to the pseudo Mini-Force / Metal Cardbot shelf. Which, I mean, yeah, like Leo Cop here and Jaws Cop are Mini-Force figures, but I can't fit this guy and Justice Titan on the shelf with them. So the Mini-Force team is a little bit broken up, but those 2 are Mini-Force. And then for Metal Cardbot, we've got Metal Cardbot Blackhook, the pirate guy that turns into a pirate ship, and he's great. And Metal Cardbot Heavy Iron. I finally got Heavy Iron. Video on him is also on the way. But yeah, Heavy Iron, very cool. And then the last of the Korean figures, there is Turning Mech Card Griffinx, who I still have and still love. I think they recently did a reissue of this figure too, which I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, I highly recommend you get him because he is awesome even with or despite the bicep curler arms. I also did a little bit of panel lining customizing on this guy, so there's that. Back here we've got Mechard Ball Pettenkrantz, or Pettenkrantz, I don't know how you pronounce it, but this guy, he is cool. I like him a lot. He turns into a weird battle hearse thing, and also a scorpion and 2-headed dragon simultaneously. It's weird, but I love it. Then we've got Hello Cardbot Laranja, Hello Carbot, not Cardbot, Hello Carbot Laranja, and she is very cool and also quite well articulated for a Hello Carbot figure. Pretty much the only thing she's missing is a waist swivel in terms of like standard articulation. And next to her, there is Hello Carbot Ripas, who is, I got her at the tail end of 2023, but I just never got around to making a video on her before the, before the end of the year. But she is pretty cool. It took some warming up. I got her mainly because, like, pretty decent. Like, she's got pretty much the same amount of articulation as Laranja, but it took a little bit to get used to her look. Like, I found that by angling the shoulders up a little bit and kind of changing where the shoulders sit in relation to the line of the like collar area, it really made a difference. But yeah, got her. She's neat. She transforms in an interesting way. And finally, the Sentai stuff. In the back, there is... Oh, what is this guy's name? Daikai Shinkano. Ha! I can't believe I remembered that. Daikai Shinkano, though he's slightly fan-moded, because I just thought he displayed well like that. Still love that combination, love that set of figures. It's great. The 1990s original Megazord, got that at Comic-Con in 2023 and ended up getting repro labels for it. Classic set. Still an all-timer. And across from that, we've got the Zord Ascension Project version of the Dino Megazord, which is also a great figure. I know people like to hate on it, but I think the people complaining about it being cheap are really being unreasonable with their expectations. But yeah, also great. And last I checked, it was actually on sale for around 80 or 90 bucks on Big Bad Toy Store. So if that's still happening and you want to get one and you're waiting for a sale, I'd recommend that. But it's your money. It's your choice. But I actually do really like the Zord Ascension Project Megazord. Then we've got my favorite, what continues to be my favorite, pardon me, Power Rangers / Sentai set, and that is the Titan Megazord / Maji King. Still love this thing, still love how you've got 5 individual characters, Titans I think they go by in this show, that don't really do much, but they look good next to each other, and then they combine to make a dragon, and combine differently to make the Megazord, and it's just really cool. Then we've got the Red Dragon Thunderzord. And yeah, also got him at Comic-Con this past year. Or actually, I guess that must have been 2022, I think, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was AwesomeCon that I got him. I don't remember. Point is, I definitely got the Red Dragon Thunderzord this year at Comic-Con. And he was missing a lot of parts and stickers. He does not have his staff, which I'm fine with. But got him. Had to get some stickers for him. Had to get a replacement waist piece thingy. But still, he's cool for what he is. I mainly got him because he is a necessary component to do the Thunder Megazord. Because I do have the Battle Assault team here with the Phoenix and the Griffin and was it a giraffe? Unicorn? Oh, wait, that was the Griffin, that was the unicorn, I think. Point is, I got them. There's you can kind of see the paws from the lion. And they also all needed repro labels. And I think the bird was missing its tail. Was the bird? No, the bird wasn't missing its tail, it was missing its feet. But yeah. And then I also got, as you could clearly see, the White Tiger Zord. And that was something, the White Tiger Zord is something I never owned and always wanted to. And I was really happy I was able to pick him up. Again, needed repro labels to freshen everything up, but he does have all of his little red orbs. So that's good. Can't really see it from this angle, but he also has his leg orbs. And I don't think the electronics work, but that's okay. He looks pretty, and I currently have him combined with the Battle Assault team because I think it looks cool. And that's it. Bit anticlimactic, but that is it for the collection. So just as a quick refresher, we've got the Sentai stuff and all of the Korean figures, the Autobots that are got Blur, and well, I'm not even going to go through all of them, but got the Autobots going up along here, and the Dinobots, and Victory Saber, and the rest of the Autobots. And then down here's the Decepticon shelf with the kind of, I guess, jobbers, I don't know. Soundwave and Friends, Seekers and Shockwaves, 2 shelves of Megatron, 2 shelves of Nemesis Prime. Oh, pardon, I hiccuped while talking. 2 shelves of Nemesis Prime. The really big Decepticons, so Titan Class, Scorponok, Fans Hobby, Double Evil, and then Deathsaurus, because again, Deathsaurus and Victory Saber. Just kind of bookending the shelf of Decepticons. And then swinging back over here, we have miscellaneous Autobots, miscellaneous Decepticons. Oh, let me angle that down so you can see them. the kind of spillover from the combiners, including individual characters and tiny combine modes. Miscellaneous with 2 Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad figures and Gao Gaigar, and then the combiners. And that'll do it. I am sorry this took so long. I was hoping this would be short, and I ended up not making it short because it's me, so of course. But thank you everybody for watching. I hope this is entertaining in some regard. If nothing else, I'll probably end up rewatching this at some point in the future just so I can be like, I remember that figure. But as of this recording, that is where the collection sits. That will, of course, change as time goes on. I don't have anything in the mail currently, but I do have several more things that have been pre-ordered and, other things that I have my eye on. So this will, of course, change. The collection is always changing, always growing, sometimes shrinking, but always shifting, never remaining exactly the same. So I guess we'll see where things are in 2025. Oh, goodness. 2025. I don't want to think that far ahead yet.